Yeah, it was a double duelist deadlock.
So that would be a little bit heartbreaking to see.
Well, we are gonna get Shao on Tejo. Love that. Angel on deadlock. Okay, let's talk about the other side as well.
Yeah, KC dropping the deadlock as well. Obviously, previously it was the Jet and the Razor.
Yeah, it was a double duelist deadlock. So
what feels like a bit of an overhaul.
Yeah, KC going back to boring. Yinsu's going to love that one.
Yeah, this does feel a little more vanilla from the side of KC. But Navi, I'm here for it.
I'm excited to see what they've cooked up. Angel, when he plays the Sentinel on defense specifically, watch out for him just running around and like in the moment, just literally figuring out what he wants to do. And sometimes it works beautifully, sometimes it doesn't. So hopefully for him today, it's going to work beautifully.
It's going to have to work beautifully if Navi want to move to the next round, because there will be no second chances in this series. Hazard and Karo, the loser, will be eliminated from playoffs.
Both of these teams, so much riding on this game to set up whether their stage so far feels like a success or a failure, because we've seen improvements in some ways, drop-offs in others, and now heading on towards Ascent. I want to speak about Na'Vi here quickly, because last year they played Ascent 8 times. We felt like coming in, picking up such a capable opper like Koala Noob, that we would be seeing this from them a whole lot more, but we haven't. And in terms of those results, lost 4 and then won 4, it's always been about consistency, and it's that conversation that comes up yet again.
The stakes could never be higher, and for Na'Vi, when you look at their composition, this is exactly what they ran on M80. When we look at Koala Noob on the Euro, the only difference being in that composition, they've subbed out the Sova for the Tejo. So let's see if that's going to find some value as we move into map 1 of the last map of this elimination series.
Oh, but it's Koala Noob that draws first blood. Na'Vi in front on the attack side, orb collected. As KC have gone back to this default style. It's through mid that they'll look to try and funnel the players, but Koala Noob again delivers a bullet to the brain of Elite. This time he'll walk away with 2, but still the numbers Na'Vi.
Well, that door is dropped. You've got to be looking at Rooksik, who now becomes the Joker. In fact, they're going to open the door back up to let him back in. But both players are already out heaven.
Because I mean, there's a mesh set up, so Na'Vi looking to try and take this fight. It's a TP back towards main for Koala. Rooksik finding the kill. Koala looking to add the final details, but it's Rooksik that ends up with both. Another attack side pistol for Na'Vi. By my count, that's now 5 in a row.
Yeah, and not only that, you can already see the comfortability on Koala within this comp, on the Euro. That's what you should expect when you're running a composition of agents, but he knows how to work.
And even from the double Sentinel here, which has touched on just a little bit, is that we've seen other teams in the region go for it, right? We know that Apex tried it. It was one of the maps where they did find a little bit of success. Liquid against BBL, that was very nearly another 13-0. And for me, you're just looking at those combos as well with the Tejo and how that net and salvos are going to be paired up.
That's the thing. Something everyone always highlights with this comp, that KC are running the deep... Oh, wait a minute, Hero, he could get caught here.
I think he'll be all right. Oh, without his cage, but yeah, hitting the tag. Swings and roundabouts, mate. They are off to A.
Yeah, they've seen plenty of bodies here. The correct decision is to be as quick as possible in hitting A, but KC could be quick in cutting off rotations. They missed their opportunity. Now we look at Aves.
Biding his time towards the back of Gen. Anything here would have been good. It's a turned head for Koala Noob, but he'll turn the other cheek. There's no problem.
A little bit of a headache. Paracetamol maybe needed as KC take their time coming back into sight.
And from this position, with the stat that you saw at the start of the round, the history in terms of how they manage money, we're talking about another Na'Vi bonus and the potential of it to create a snowball. We know that they had such a strong start to Split. They built up a number of rounds, nice 3. That's gonna, Lord, I thought gonna pick up at least 1 kill there onto Elite. But no, it's just safeguarded the round instead. And to carry on what I was going to say, is that, yeah, I don't think they're gonna be losing anything here at all.
Yeah. I just want to go back to my point that I'd started at the start of the round, right? About how NAVI, in terms of the composition they're playing against, will have plenty of opportunity to get practice against this, right? The default comp, the one that we tend to expect, or used to expect on Ascent, now that double Sentinel's starting to make its reappearance and find its way in the meta. Yeah, you're looking at NAVI, they should know exactly how to move around the map, know exactly how to gain reactions, and I mean the decision making should be easy for Angel. Should be.
He's made his choice here. 5 players at the B spawn barrier. Sadak with the utility. It's just a shock that he fires in. Very committed position, but the Cajun support and dropping the recon behind it. What's in for a little bit more, but all it ends with is damage and tears.
Yeah, but remember, 3 players of KC are here and ready to fight, and one of them is Martin. Spike dropped, and Angel trying to recollect the spike gives himself, but NAVI, I mean, it's just been fallen to the wayside here. It looks like KC will have the response. It's that NAVI curse once again on the bonus.
This hero could do something about it. First couple shots clean onto Martin, but KC have restored order in the rifle as you expect.
Yeah, again though, I don't want to be the hater, right? But like, how many times?
No, you know what? The floor is yours.
But like, how many times are we going to see NAVI not win a bonus round when they have that buy? Like, they set themselves up perfectly every time, as you should expect from the architects of the FPX buy, right? But like, the next round, the bonus round is always so underwhelming and it's frustrating.
I think there, KC just given the time to react here. They want to be proactive instead. Martin into the fire and flames beyond this smoke. Is there support? It comes in the form of Aves, but it's just not enough. Not long lasting. NAVI immediately respond.
Yeah, what a way to respond to any criticism that had levied against them. Very well navigated by NAVI.
It's all in the name, buddy. It's all in the name. But I have to say, that's a situation where it's like, okay, is that repeatable?
Yeah.
Probably not, because KC have just brought the fight straight to them. The question will be, is there more of the same? Is that something that this defense wants to try? Because when you talk about strat books, and Ascent being in quite a healthy meta right now, I think all things considered, everyone knows what the strats are. You've seen that play a million times before.
Yes, 100%. I mean, went back to Vision Strikers, as it's been called many a time. Not even in Valorant any longer. So Getsu, is he going to be in this round? As he tries to escape, Martin flies him out there.
Cover going on. I mean, those players might not be heading to Toronto, but I'll tell you who is. Track by track, one step at a time. NAVI, not the ones that are putting a foot in front of each other too well here. It's a couple of missteps. Now trying to force the issue on B, but the setup is there. KC do well just to trade out an elite buying time from backside. Shao again. It's top draw, and with the spike down, there's still a chance between him and Hero. These are the players you want.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've got Sentinel utility to work with here as well, so NAVI in prime position in post.
And the ult on Shao to set up Hero. Oh, it's blocked him a little bit from the initial entry, but he fans out behind it. And KC are caught with a blind eye, but still Hero can't do anything but damage. Can Shao capitalize from it? Sitting inside the smoke, the spike not shown, but as it evaporates from his vision, there you have it. KC effective in the way that they've played off of one another to set up this second.
The big thing for NAVI in this round, very similar to Split, is when they get into post, if they have majority of their members up, it should be as strong as possible. It should be almost impossible for KC to get back into sight. Understandably, there was only two players alive there towards the end, but that's a win condition for NAVI. And when they move on to defense...
Million times I was saying that I was...
As I was saying,
a million times?
On the defense, we're expecting them to do better, right? So it's about how many rounds can you get on the attack, NAVI.
And I mean, how prepared are KC going to be when push comes to shove? What does the execution look like?
Mid is going to be taken by KC here.
Tempered approach. After the first 15 seconds, they pull the pin, the play is made, but that redistribution of the defense is towards the B site where the spike is yet to cross. Sadak in play, sprays away, 2 kills. Elite right behind it. The rest of KC there, reactive at the best of times, but the support, it's flowing through when needed. Koala was the first player in and looks like the last one out.
This is Koala's map, though. I think he can do this.
I mean, I'm not sure if I follow along. I mean, you hype a guy up, there was always a chance, but you're asking too much. When KC look as well drilled as they do in situations like that, it's where Navi are not quite reaching those expectations.
I saw how all the players were set up, right? Like I saw the one chance, right? The Doctor Strange scenario, but at the same time, we go back to 3-3.
Matt, you are him, bro. You are him.
So many times that we've seen a player have their moment. I mean, right now, I think the most telling thing about the scoreboard, and you won't see it as we're in the timeout for Na'Vi, is that Sugetsu is, well, actually, there's quite a lot to talk about. Sugetsu has 10 assists, firstly, 10 assists inside 6 rounds, so that tells you all you need to know in terms of Na'Vi pushing through these smokes. And secondly, actually looking at the kill distribution, pretty much everyone has at least 3 kills, and like 3 or 4 deaths. KC are just very efficient, very tightly knit, and doing a fantastic job.
And I think as well, when we look at what the utility Na'Vi have, they don't have any like really great utility to break out of the smoke. Sure, you've got Koala Noob's flashes, but in that last round, he's on his ultimate, right? He's not really going to be able to set up his team perfectly. And if you have one player playing anti-flash, then it's very easy to destroy the push.
KC starting to come up on some ults here. Na'Vi not as close. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Look how perfect those numbers look right now for KC. It's like the shoal of fish from Finding Nemo. They're all pointing in the direction of another playoff game.
I will find them.
There's still so much work to be done, and any round you let Na'Vi pick up here just makes that defense even more terrifying.
Speak of Nemo, just need to keep on swimming round by round.
That was Dory, mate.
Yeah, but it's in the Finding Nemo movie.
Very true.
Give it peace.
I've been told that I look like the Dory voice actor a few times. Oh man. Shenanigans aside, see if
They're walking into a Vez here.
Na'Vi can course correct on this eco, and well, Angel's open it up.
No.
A first kill for him. And it's the A-site onslaught with Hero slipping in between the lines beyond the barrier mesh. It's another kill. Could this be the Na'Vi eco? Or does Martin have something to say? He's silenced. That's the lead. And Na'Vi find themselves in front on this attack again.
Do you know what? That's just absolutely insane. The mismanagement of the round and the mistakes that we see. I mean, I know we were all seeing Sideshow crash out earlier, but he'll be crashing out of that one. I mean, what is happening there?
Any particular reason why?
I think something about a trap.
There was a hole under your wall. I just went under it and went garden kill too.
Even so, I'm sure how expectant of that KC were, but posted more success. Na'Vi have this annihilation to work with. 3 ults on the other side, and looking at player positions right now, Sui has a lot of work to do. Potentially going to reposition Wine, but holding the one way for now. But if he bails, it's only others here to support. Still that ult to bank on.
I mean, this split is perfect.
The group up short. They're going to break one of the arms of this push.
I don't think they are. Look, they've split up once again. This is a set take, set exit. They're waiting for the utility to come up, and the players send it in.
Yeah, and Abez is going to be caught behind this wall, so it's all on Sugetsu to stand his ground. Sadak in support, Koala furthest player forward. Revealed TP out, just about hanging on. KC fighting through into short, but they can't survive. Na'Vi batter back. 5 rounds expected unless Sadak can save the day.
I mean, could maybe get a Vez back up, but instead broke the door, so this is just a bait, and they know exactly where the Sova is.
The cage has him caught. They know now the info. Stunned, revealed, everything on a very long list of troubles which continues to grow as NAVI have doubled their advantage coming into a round where they're expected to keep on moving forwards.
Very nice utility at the end. I mean, just the way that they execute, and you can tell that it's set, not just from the fact that the players have were waiting for the utility to come up, but the fact that it hit every single part. And now you look at the buy, you look at what KC bring forward, a Vez with just a hero rifle and Sadak with a Bucky.
In terms of those player positions, it's this Vision Striker move that we were talking about earlier. Hero getting one, reveal not on the player but the fake out. Still Bucky in hand of Sadak as he sidesteps the shots. Shock looking for further damage.
Yeah, but look at Martin here, and the space that he's found. Navi are walking right into this, oh no!
Onto the Grand Tour, Martin. Step into the show floor, first kill picked up. Flash through, oh, 2 would have been great. But with Ruxic removing him, it's straight to the boathouse he goes.
Love this, taking the space nice and early. KC though, are very quick on the mark.
They expect the site player from the TP, but still can't deal with him. In front of the line, Sugetsu was looking for the spike.
Where are Navi going?
They're gonna reroute this just because they don't want to deal with that one defender. Faking mid-pressure. Sugetsu's still solo.
He just got a chance to deny the spike.
He's so far ahead of this. Sugetsu gets 2 kills. Ruxic last player left, and it's just fallen apart for Navi. At least step it in to just shear away another. It's a pace safeguard thrifty, and no rest for Navi at all.
No rest for the wicked, no rest for Valorant watchers, because what just happened, mate? A pace safeguard thrifty, and KC, even after winning that round, are going to call a timeout.
Sublime from Sui. Whatever it is you want to say about this round, KC took the onus on themselves to go for that B play, to fight tiles from both lanes, to keep it constricted. Hero goes down, Sui able to follow it up with that second kill, and now off the timeout, they feel the wind at their backs, money in their pockets, but there is an issue.
And I think, well, for me, the issue is that contingency that they need to have against Navi's ultimates, right? Because these last couple of rounds, they are nowhere near what Navi have. And, well, Navi, they have the Armageddon, they have the Annihilation. You're looking at the Dimensional Drift 2 off for Koala Noob. So if Navi use their ultimates effectively, they'll find themselves in a pretty good position. But these are all if, buts and maybes.
And we know that you do absolutes.
Exactly. But
something I can say for certain though is that Navi strat book, this is a test of it. How much have you put into this Ascent, which we've seen floated as a decider in the last few series for them, where, you know, you look at this map for the team in general, it has been okay in the past, but it's 7 successive losses now, all the way back to week 1, stage 1 last year. To come up in playoffs would be everything, but Sugetsu has been spotted. Ruxic knows his tricks too well. That TP won't be catching him off guard anytime soon.
I really like that by Navi to make sure that Wine can't be taken by KC. They've also deposited a trap outside of B, just to make sure that we're not going to get the same sort of flank that Martin was able to do last time out.
Reposition towards B for Navi. On this attack side,
big info.
As you say, the difference is they would have had numbers, but it's the recon in front of the utility, and they go back to the stack. Hero's still here. Neural Theft dropped in. What do they do with this info?
I mean, they've only found the Cypher, and look at the reposition off the back of it. I thought they were going to run to B because only one player was found, but Navi's slow roll out, and Naves is only able to get one elite though. finding his chance, but he's already taken so much damage. It's easy for Koala to finish out. Martin getting one of his own. 2v2, tries to deny the spike, but it's not to be advised. It's NAVI will find 6.
NAVI already at the very least guaranteeing that this half breaks even. And you're still thinking in the back of your mind, what does it look like out of the opening 12? How much more is there left in the tank? Does this double Sentinel have legs? And right now, in terms of the rounds as they're being played, just looking for KC to make their move first, because this has been a very proactive version of a style we've seen so many times before, even by those standards.
Well, one of the ultimates was used. It was only the Neuro Theft and found massive value. Now you look at the rest available, and they can usually get even better chances at being used. Now, looks to be another B split. Martin.
Already had one go, and the next bite of the cherry is just as sweet. Elite following it up. 4v3 situation, and KC offered the reset.
Blades up, ready to go.
So that rotation is even quicker.
The read's perfect.
3 players in short. NAVI walking up and into trouble, into the face of danger. KC coming back in and doing it in dominant fashion. The support was there, making the right calls mid-round. A little bit of individual brilliance, but the team still performing together.
It's not even that, right? I can't wait for it to come back up on the replay, but Martin's split-second decision-making, not to go for the fake-out, but to go for the Euro that was swinging him, and then on top of that, like that, just nice little cherry on top.
He's like, coming from a Euro player, I know which is which. That's second sense.
Yeah, but last round, we've been highlighting it many a times for the past couple, the ultimates to be used.
So many ults. Everything but the kitchen sink thrown at this. Koala's just looking for a target to send that deadlock ult in. Spotted in tower. Martin gets out. But I have to say, with all of this Sentinel util, now in post, KC have to go quickly.
Yeah, they need to be careful, and not only that, if they do go quickly, there's ultimates to deny, and well, first one in, still not got the Armageddon used either, but it might not be needed at all, it isn't! NAVI move into the next half with an advantage.
You're seeing the value from the utility there, and while it's late on the half, it's late in the evening, and NAVI have their advantage. They lead coming into the final half of play in this EMEA elimination match. KC trying to fly that French flag through the lower bracket, but it's a long way away now.
One enemy remaining. Sorry, this was taken.
Red Bull gives you wings.
What to do unless you stay? Thinking that today will be our day, it'll be our day again. Why am I playing with time as it's ticking away? It's ticking away. I'm asking why we run for our lives. It's not a second to waste. It's ticking away. Alright, let's get it. Winning, losing, either way I'm there. Got an attitude, I'm off the roof, up in the air. Let's run, I make it count, yeah, I'm talking right now. Feel like the comeback kid, got no time to spare. Double up score, 22-2-4. You know I win a lot, gotta win one more. On a hot street, never gets old. Sorta with the ace and my team went gold. Why am I playing with time as it's ticking away? It's ticking away, away. I'm asking why.
Got the supporters in the house, of course. Everyone on EMEA side tuning in to see who carries on in this lower bracket. NAVI out the back of a loss to BBL, and now facing up against the KC side, which have already shown they can come back in the second half of matches. Split didn't go their way. The last two maps by a margin of just 2 rounds. Now the question is, how good is this double Sentinel defense from NAVI?
I mean, that is the question. The last drops of sand begin to drop through the hourglass for one of these teams. For the other, a run through the lower bracket is what awaits. NAVI, they have their favoured side to close out this map, but will it be good? Will it fall to the French?
Koala, first point of contact in mid. It's player presence, and there's plenty more behind this for NAVI. Many times on the attack side, they were barreling through smokes, but as they clear out that space, A is where the push is coming in.
NAVI well aware of what needs to be done, and well, they've stopped this before it's even got started.
Sadek just looking for a kill, maybe through a shock or something. As Martin is lost, you don't have any of that gap close anymore. In terms of getting to site, Elite still hanging around in middle. But NAVI happy to play this way because they've got a cam up on B, and all that means is that they don't need to worry about the entire left-hand side. They just group up and wait for the execution.
And you look at Xiao, right? He's playing as the rotate player, just in enough vicinity to use the utility that he has if it's needed. This is not going to be B. This is going back towards A shorter. That's what I thought, as the spike makes its way through mid.
Yeah, I think all of this right now is to try and drag a player over, create some pressure, force NAVI to redistribute the forces, and there you have it. That's the response. KC get the reaction they were looking for, and sure, but still, Ruxic hangs around. Sheriff at his side, and Hero in support from Dice backside. The smoke now drops in the front, looking for the fight. It's Ruxic that has the first. Time is of the essence. There isn't enough of it. Hero still hanging around, and with that denial, it's a quad kill that keeps NAVI going in the second half of play.
He's had a massive series, time and time again, coming up with a clutch, and in this last, most pivotal half of the series, he comes up and wins the pistol round. It might only just be one round, but it's a massive one to get started.
Also comes through the support of Ruxic as well.
Let's go!
Tunnel of smokes to just path his way to the planter. Wondering if that hat was going to go flying off Saish's head again, but for now, KC's still in this, but that pistol does put them at odds of this defense, as we said.
Gotta remember, this year is so important for both sides. Most importantly, this Masters for NAVI because of Koala Noob. He's Canadian, he wants to be in Toronto.
As we said, a family reunion on home soil, perhaps just leading the vibes of this team, keeping the energy up, emotion cited by Sadak on the other side. Where are KC's heads at right now? A round like this, it's just got to be picking up orbs. And it is the skipper who has already done so. 4 away from the ult. Looking to find his 5th ult point. But with the mesh in main on A, it's mid they go. And Koala, they head into.
Trying to be the man, dragging his team to Toronto. The rest of the supporting cast helping him out in doing so. The last two of Martin and Elite try and make something on towards A. Those sonic sensors and sentinel utility to try and get through.
Over there.
The players in place. Just to set this one up, KC looking for any kind of out, but every route they walk into is met with trouble. A player picked up by Martin, but that was one of the pistols. KC need to do a little bit more here if it's to make any kind of damage on what will be another NAVI strong bonus that's set up.
And would this be the time to finally win out your bonus? Send you towards double digits. A chasm between the two teams at the minute, which KC need to try and cross through their first buy.
This round is absolutely huge and potentially netting Angel his first ever win over Sadak. In terms of the call for this round, it's going to be grouped up with long-standing teammate Xiao. The combo of util dumped towards tiles, but no result. You can see, NAVI is sticking to the strengths of this comp.
They don't need to fight mid.
You can just re-clear it with the drone instead.
Exactly. Although Martin thought was going to get that engagement with Koala, instead decides to TP all the way back, and there's going to be jump spot in mid.
Like this placement of the sensor as well from Angel. It's forced Sadak to just face check it, and with that now broken, all picked up, it's further information towards Na'Vi as to what exactly is going on in this round.
But see the thing, KC think that that's where the Cypher is because of the last round. That's Deadlock was on A. They've switched up their Sentinels and KC could be executing into their own doom.
It's another utility investment though in the meantime. Barrier mesh has been dropped in towards B main, but that's not before both the salvos and the net had been placed as well. Still A under threat, and the traps are here. Oh, Hero's been suppressed though.
It's massive. He managed to get a cage off, so hasn't been identified by the info dart. And guess one of his own, Koala's here to try and get some support, but Martin continues on his reign of terror.
And Roxic's still hanging around in main. They had to clear him or plant the spike. Less than 10 seconds once this comes in.
This is going to be close, but didn't account for Elite. Did Angel 2v2 post plant, and Navi looked to come out the other side the better. Elite from short has to try and fight his way through, doesn't even get a cam. It's just going to be a defuse, and what a way to finally convert a bonus round, Navi!
When they needed it. And those players standing tall on the A site again. Hero gets his one, and Ruxic just hangs on. The amount of sustain he has from these smokes, it's such fundamental play, but executed correctly. Martin with one, you know, everyone on KC doing a little bit of something, but still, Na'Vi, the all-important round result.
And I think as well, this could perhaps be the quickest that we have seen a timeout used since the start of a half. Carmine Core, the ones to do it, because they are on the edge of elimination. Resuscitation needed by the support staff.
Saish that steps up right now, it seems. Given opportunities to call for the team. I mean, think back to kickoff a couple years ago now when Eng gave him that experience. You've got to be relying on the players that feel like they can make the right call right now, whoever that is, assistant coach, head coach, anyone in the server who feels like they have the read on what Na'Vi are setting up for.
And I think as well, right, we spoke about how important it is for Navi and Koala Noob to finally get towards a Masters event, especially in Toronto where Koala Noob, I mean, he is Canadian, but for KC, their eyes should be on Paris. They need to get these Champions points. And if they lose here, it's a massive chance to win the series out. Gone.
Absolutely. So into the next round we look to see if what was said from Sadak and the rest enough. Someone who, as we mentioned before, has brought on teams out of bad situations. You look at Loud, mentoring some of that younger talent, the question always being, could he do it without Aspas? Madrid, a sufficeable answer, I think. Martin's been doing brilliantly on the Jet. And now he has support behind him. Only Angel here, but getting out of dodge with his own util, and Na'Vi very quickly retaliating.
Yeah, and they've got so much stall potential with what they have, and so KC decide to look elsewhere, but Koala's ready, so is Shao. I think they're actually thinking about moving into main.
This is a huge isolation. It is only Sugetsu here, but his Sheriff now has to have a bigger moment than it has done previously. Asking a bit too much.
Still, Koala Noob has moved in towards B main as KC find a little spot in market to work with. This is just a bait on A.
Na'Vi are so happy to give this space away at the same time. They have control on either side of the map. The mains, more importantly, Angel and Koala, as you say. Now looking at the Canadian. Feels as if he has his time to strike beyond the cage. At least one kill, but that's the spike. At the back of the pack, it goes down.
10 seconds left.
And so Na'Vi up to an 11th. KC, you know, in some of these eco rounds, just really haven't felt all that threatening. There's so much control, but it's not even necessarily coming from the Sentinel players. The setup's on site.
Yeah, it's the setups on site, but again, it's also how comfortable and the understanding that the full Navi roster has in terms of They know when they can move into mains. They know when there's a step too far. And I don't think they've necessarily put a foot wrong since they've moved on to the defense. Well, we know that because they've won every round on this second half.
This is the most important of the lot though, Cairo. Win here, it's 12, and very well, a series taken.
That buy won't look great either for KC if they lose this.
Very early knife though, important just to detail that Angel has been spotted towards short. So from what KC have collected info already, is there a possible way they can see what the setup is? This is something we haven't seen before though. Cam contact for a Koala flash, it's an elite lurk. He is solo in this endeavor.
Big 1 versus 1 that could potentially be one out. The poke and prod on the A side has been won out by NAVI because they've got the A main space.
Elite may very well just step into this, but slow in the approach. KC creep closer towards the B site. It's a drone to round the corner, it's broken, and this is the play. Koala taking it into his own hands, just one.
Yeah, that's all it is going to be, but the setup from the Cypher was good. Can't capitalise, and now it's Hero at the back of sight. He's been spammed out, they know where he is because he responded to the bullets sent his way. And now we go into a 2 versus 4. Ruxic trying to take a timing, but well noted. And now it's up to the captain.
Not feeling like Angel's going to be coming up with the goods here though. KC, slow approach. All circling back to his position at the start of the round. And that's how you have to play some of these defaults. I mean, I don't think really they've been known for this kind of style in the past, but it's the one that you're forced to play against this NAVI side right now.
Especially when you have to find out where the Sentinel utility is, right?
They don't have to challenge for that space. They win it outright. As do KC this time. 4 players left standing. That's round number 6. Still 5 more though to close the gap up entirely. They showed us they were capable of doing it before, but when it got to 9-9 on split, it was all NAVI.
Yeah. I think for KC, they found a way to win outright, but I also feel as if there was some mistakes from NAVI there. They had a good read on what they wanted to do. Koala unlucky not to get 2 and get traded out. We will look towards A main in this fight once again.
Angel here. Expressed this time, but a miss sensor is a very quickly recollected one. NAVI on the offensive. 2 players to come in from short, but there is support from middle. It's Koala Noob just facing by himself, and while Net's going to come in there. The salvos, do they arrive in time? No, Martin dashes right out.
It's going to be a big duel in mid. Most importantly, towards the arch. Ruxic TP into the other side. The spam coming through, but they can't quite find him. He's taking his time and they can't quite find the value.
NAVI ever evasive, but look at Ruxic. He wants to keep on going. Just the 1 kill that he picks up. NAVI still putting their foot down. 50 seconds or less. KC need to make a move, and in terms of space taken and utility dealt with, there is not much at all.
This is big.
Alva's just going to rip the ult. It's a hit and hope, so to B they go.
Yeah, but you see that. It takes all the Sentinel utility offline, and Hero's here by himself. He has no support.
30 seconds left.
Still creeping closer to the site, taking their time. Hero to take that first fight onto Elite, and that really opens things up. Util back in. Hero has his second. 2 on 2, but it drops to Angel. This one feeling a lot more likely.
And has the Gravnet. 1 off his ulti.
Can stop the swing from at least one of those players, and it's Sugetsu dead in his tracks. To the corner, he will remain. Peeking back through though, Aves by his side. 7 for KC, they survive.
I always feel as if 7-11 is a really defining scoreline for a comeback. It's one where it's totally within touching distance, and especially when you look at economy, ultimates there.
It's another time where Martin just goes flying around the corner, jumping in. But as we do go round by round, you've got to make those decisions. It is getting pretty stressful, and so NAVI are heading into a timeout of their own. But it's, you know, another 60 seconds for KC, which they wouldn't have otherwise. They've already used both timeouts. We're not going to be getting any more unless we go to OT.
And that's it. Boxing gloves off after this. It's going to be bare knuckle, no introduction of the coaches from here on forth. And it's what Sadak was talking about and what he wanted. It's all about who can call on the fly, who's going to be better in these scenarios for however many rounds that we have left in this series. I have to remind everyone of the stakes. Whoever loses this is out.
Not only out, but without a single win in the playoff stage either, which feels so different to at least maybe picking up one win and going up against some formidable opponents that we still have left in the bracket. Let me reiterate, it's 3 wins to take you to that top 3 from this position. NAVI coming into the next round with plenty of odds. But the one that I'm looking at, and the player I'm looking at still for KC, remains to be Martin. He headed into this series second globally for KD, just shy of 1.4, but it's the space making more than anything else, which is the biggest asset to KC right now against this NAVI defense.
Playing with the pace, starting off fast, making NAVI sweat. Didn't get much utility out the other side of it. They are going to get the drone to check mid.
KC's so slow. Just waiting for some information, and as this A site has both the sensors and the traps, the Cypher, the Deadlock, they know at least one of them now through the Owl drone. When we've seen KC pressure market before though, it's just been a means to an end. They've not often executed, and you can see with the position here of Sugetsu still hanging around in A main, there's definitely a view to take this one back into the stack.
I mean, at the same time, Koalanu brings out Dimensional Drift, looking to clear out and find out where players are, and well, they're going to head towards A, and this is where all the utility is.
As I said, just raising that question mark in middle, but now you're heading into the utility. It's the Hunter's Fury to try and gut out some of that space in the back. Ruxit gets hit, and Sugetsu follows it up cleanly. Koala still here, and he's found his first. The salvo's in. How much time is there? Spike plant has to happen, and it's DICE where it'll go.
Got to be thinking about Martin still in towards mid. He could play late upset, perhaps a win condition, but the retake, we look at the annihilation from Angel to be the big win con here.
How can NAVI flood out? Entrenched in the heavens, still waiting for this smoke to expire, but it's time instead. Those final grains dropping to the bottom of the hourglass, and that's where Martin starts to reveal his position, buys a little more time, because, well, I tell you what, KC are going to need it on their side. Hero's starting to work on the defuse, and stepping in Martin maybe a moment too late. It's gone all the way through! Martin will die after time, but it's up as far as KC are concerned. No way, he lived! He actually lived that. The cocoon didn't fully go off, but the point still stands. NAVI have map point, and 5 rounds remains to be the gap.
But for NAVI, it's 1 round. 1 round is all they need to put their hand into the next round in the lower bracket and survive. Just 1 match longer for KC, an underwhelming finish to their stage 1. A massive round to try and deal with. A set play doesn't get the value that they're looking for. Martin noted by the Cypher cam.
Again, raising an issue for NAVI to deal with. As soon as they take mid, NAVI are dropping back that defensive line into Boathouse, but this time their support. The mesh is there, and so's the sensor. Martin still with blades and an updraft. He fires himself over the top of Switch, but it's only going one way for now in the feed. Shao gets his 2. Can Angel find 2 more? He's got the first. It's a trade out 2-on-2.
Look at how low Sadak is. He at least has 1 info dart to try and know anybody. He'll get the information he needs, but how long is he going to be able to survive?
Shout going through lane, flash behind it. Sadak just hiding underneath the rail right now as the lane walk-up comes through from Koala. Elite, the healthy player. We have to depend upon him again. KC, the blue wall could crumble under the pressure of NAVI as they're putting it on. Elite has withstood at least that first player, but he has to go big where the rest of his team couldn't. To move on in their stead for KC's stage 1 hopes and dreams. Elite will continue where the rest could not. That's number 8, but how many more do we need?
I mean, we talk about CPR, resuscitation, that was a defibrillator. Electricity coursing through the veins of Elite to keep KC alive. NAVI now. What's the response? I mean, you look at the eco, this is where you would do something crazy on the defense.
With 4 rounds left here, NAVI very likely sent back onto an eco at least one more time before this map is done, and that being the one rifle in the hands of Koala already cut away, loose from the round. Angel picking it back up, but still favoring the Sheriff.
All I'm gonna ask, NAVI, please do not use Xiao's ultimate.
Sound sensor out.
Okay, well, they can't hear you, mate, so we'll have to see if they go for it or not.
Still have that Guardian, though. That's a big point to talk about, because that's a bit of firepower.
And it's this stall as well into the late round, which makes things all the more concerning. Xiao maybe even thinking about using the ult here, just purely based on the positioning of these players. Looks like he might just send it in, and oh, well, your wish will not be granted. NAVI want to win it here and now. Xiao still on the site with a gun in hand, and those reinforcements just can't arrive soon enough. Shot down where they stand. KC will have a 9th. We go again without a NAVI ultimate.
The question is it a fake ultimate? Is it the real deal? Hero just trying not to give much away here.
It's crazy too with the amount of points that requires to get up. I feel like so many times we've seen not just any old run-of-the-mill ultimate, not just your neural theft.
Yeah, like,
sorry, Bear. From the shadows, but like some really big round-defining ults are being just thrown into the fire.
Quite literally, mate. Like you're sitting there and you're like, listen, guy. It's like the Mourinho story with the Balotelli one, right? Like, listen, do not get a yellow card. Do not use your ultimate. Angel, please, do not use your ultimate. And then you come into the next round and they just send it, and you're like, oh, goodness gracious.
If you can find a way to pull it off, you look like a genius. But right now, I think NAVI on the receiving end more often than not.
But like you speak about, right, I know everyone speaks about like percentage plays and the numbers and let's crunch them, pushing up the glasses as Bren likes to say, but in these moments when it is literally playoff life on the line, I think the percentage play is what you opt for.
Absolutely. If there's one takeaway I take from this series is how NA pilled you are, but heading into this one,
they're from the UK.
That's true. And in terms of how we carry on in EMEA, it's Koala that starts things off. Xiao finding the next. Could this be the round for NAVI? Sui has responded. There's still a player advantage with the defense, and they have util to fall back on both sides.
That they do.
And even the setup here for NAVI, you look at it, it's Sentinel players on either side of the map, so even if Aves had gone far, straight in with their ultimate, they were prepared for it. A lot of thought put into this, but now KC are on a plan B.
Towards a look at the utility set up for Hero. Cypher cam for contact. Sonic sensors round about him to create a support network, and he's calling to his team. I've seen players on my cam, they're in short. Where does KC go here? There's a gap in towards tree, and that's exactly where they find to opt to go.
The question is, are they overcooking this a little bit too much? Because, as I say, bunkers on both sides for NAVI. Less than 30 seconds in the plays through spawn. Ruxic watching over it, but as soon as that penny drops, there's problems for KC. Elite can at least solve it with a kill for now, but this is so chaotic, Cairo.
It is, and look at this, the Omen ultimate used to try and clear out Hero instead. Found by Elite's rifle. His opposite number, the Sonic sensor gives the game away, but look at the deposit in mid. Sugetsu could be massive here.
Hearing the steps, all on Sugetsu, gets the first, and over his former captain, the wool is pulled over his eyes. Elite was just sweating when that sensor went off, hoping that the spike could go down, and now that KC have it, it's a split deck completely. One player main and one back from short. All of this heard by Elite. Koala straight into the firing line as KC continue.
I mean, that round was like prime time boxing, dancing round one another. But with that being said, I mean, the most important thing for me in the next round is one, has his null command up and available so they can take and get rid of any Sentinel utility that's possibly needed. But the other aspect to it is Navi's buy. They are stricken once again.
So they've read into a double stack on A with both Hero and Angel. Mid presence made.
Navi are gambling. They want to flood back in towards A.
Yeah, but this is the play that you make. Already Martin is low. Top gen is where he will dash to. And the null command comes in, but Navi have players in position. They are knocking on that door. There's just a couple guns in play, but they are so quickly dealt with. KC have 11, and once again, we are at the very least guaranteed 24 rounds, but even then, whoever ends up losing this will feel hard done by. It's got all the way down to the wire and then some.
That's on every single map, Hazard. We've had full regulation, one overtime. I think overtime right here would be just. Both teams have a buy. Both teams have ultimates, which should find value. Koala Noob has decided to go for the glass cannon operator. Set play in towards B main hasn't found value, and Koala finds a little gap to work with.
Be running into player traffic just yet, because Shower shut it down. The mid lurk lost. All focus on B, and Angel the one to receive it. Right up against this wall. Sensor by his side. Drone comes in, it gets the info, and that's the reinforcement. Angel needing the duel, winning it. Navi in position. This rematch from the first game of kickoff. Looking to go Navi's way. A second time of asking. Koala Noob in backside, so much support. KC are cornered.
Looks like they are.
I mean, you can barely get back past that mesh in main. The setup's over on A. Where do you go?
Question that Sadak is trying to answer right now is they wait. Let's see if Navi try and dry peek into the rifles, holding the angle. Remember, there's still 35 seconds to work with here.
I love this from Ruxic as well. Just another spanner in the
left.
works, playing around his own smoke and looks to take this fight on the chin. Closing in. Navi in position! 13-11! This story will continue for them in the lower bracket. Responding after being sent down by BBL.